Hello, and welcome to my vlog or video about book recommendations. And some of these I haven't finished reading, some of them I have, and most of them are romanticities. Some of them are spiritual books or just fantasy. So we'll get started. First is the pile of the books that I have read before, and some of these books I've finished a long time ago, but I love them, so it was fine. Okay, so my first one is Don't Mind the Creased Cover. This is a used book, so it came like this. Six Crimson Cranes. This was what got me into reading. It's wonderful. Okay, so I think it's a fantasy. I don't think it's a romantasy. Oh, on here it says Stephanie Garber commented, left a review, and she's my favorite author. But yes, it's about a girl who, I have to explain it without spoiling anything. She goes under a curse. She's cursed, and her brothers, I really hope I'm not spoiling anything, her brothers become these cranes. Like, her and her siblings are under this curse, and I don't think I could say who cursed them or anything like that, but she's a princess, and she goes out into the world and has to break this curse and has to do something in order to break it and save her brothers and her kingdom. And she falls in love with this, oh my gosh, this incredibly kind prince of another kingdom. And he's complete green flag. My other book, the second book to this series, which is also amazing. And on the second book, she goes out on a journey. And again, I read this a very long time ago. I think this was 2023. And basically, she has to break this curse, and I think I literally cried while reading this because I read it for like a book report in ELA in 8th grade, and I wasn't a reader. Like I wasn't a reader. Like I read a few books, but like I was never someone who just read. That's not what I did. But this book, I wanted to keep living it. I was like, that's the thing about me with books and movies and any media. Once I experience it, I want to keep experiencing it, but for the first time. So it's like, if I could read this for the first time, I would. There's a list of books that if I went into a coma and forgot everything, would be what I immediately picked up, and this would be it. It's gut-wrenching at some points. I love her and her siblings. I love her relationship to Suryu, and he's a dragon. And there is a love triangle between Suryu and Takon, and I can't say more than that. The second book, I never actually finished it, but that was intentional because I said that I love the book so much that I said that when I meet my soulmate, I will read the last chapter of The Dragon's Promise. And obviously that has not happened. So I have not read the last chapter. So I don't technically know how the books end, but I'm fine with that. But it's an incredibly book. It's a YA book. And I'm not gonna read the synopsis of any of these. I just want to give my opinion on why I think you should go after it. And if you're not a reader, I think you should start with this. Because I read this as an 8th grader. So, if it helped me become a reader, then I think it's definitely worth it. The second book, like I said, Stephanie Garber is my favorite author. Once Upon a Broken Heart. Oh my gosh. Okay. For one, I am Evangeline. I am. I am Evangeline, and she is my inspiration, and she's amazing. And Jax, I would, I would, I would, I would do a lot for Jax. I would do a lot for Jax. He's. I'm sorry. Okay. All of Stephanie Garber's books are amazing. I've not read her new one. What is it called? Alchemy of Secrets, I think. Alchemy of Secrets. I haven't read it, and I was skeptical to read it because it's a adult book, but she said there's no smut in it, so it's fine. But Once Upon a Broken Heart, it's about this. I could talk about this book for hours, but I won't. It's about a girl who, let's just say she's a princess that wasn't born into royalty. Because if anyone should be a princess, it's Evangeline Fox. And there's like a debate whether you should start with Stephanie Garber's Caraval books or you should jump into the series. I knew about Caraval before reading this, and I started reading it on Kindle, but I cannot do online books, so I just had to get the real thing. But I started reading Once Upon a Broken Heart before Caraval, even though I knew about Caraval first. I just never really got into Caraval until last year, I think it was. Yeah, until last year I wasn't into Caraval. So Once Upon a Broken Heart, I think you can start with it. I don't think you need the lore beforehand. I think that if you read Once Upon a Broken Heart, it's easier to justify how Jax is in Caraval, because he's not the nicest character in Caraval, but I won't really say he changed. Like I won't even say that, but he did learn to love, and this series is so worth it. It is so worth it. It's about this girl who, I guess you could say she's a part of a prophecy. Well, she is a prophecy. And she goes to this place called the Magnificent North and marries a prince. That's the short version of it. She breaks up with somebody, or someone breaks up with her. She likes this guy, and I think she was dating him. And he dates or marries her stepsister. And they have this wedding, and Evangeline's all jealous and she wants him back. So she goes to Jax's temple, and Jax is a fate. And in this world of Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart, there is fates. They're like gods, and they're like gods. And Jax is one of them, and he's the Prince of Hearts. And the whole thing is that he's like this cold being and heartless being. And if he kisses you, you die. That, again, short version of who he is. So she goes to pray to him for the matter of love. And she makes a deal with him. And she gets these 3 hearts on her wrist. And, by the way, anyone who's read this book before, I'm getting that tattoo. I'm getting the 3 hearts tattoo when I grow up. Just saying. It's gonna happen. It will. She makes a deal with him, and basically all 3 books she's having to do stuff for him. And she marries this prince and blah blah blah. It's the reason I love the romantasy genre is because of this. It is balls and pink and royalty, and I feel like a girl when reading it. Like it's awesome. It's awesome. This is my opinion on it. Like, I, it's awesome. And I think that if someone reads this series, they definitely should read Caraval, vice versa, because I will never stop talking about those books. Like, I don't care how popular they are, how overrated people think they are. It changed me. It changed me. And I've been trying to reread this. I suck at rereading books, but like every day, I've finished this book, not the series, but this book like a year plus ago. And I have not stopped thinking about it every day. So I recommend it, okay? I recommend this in the series. And everyone says The Ballad of Never After is the best, and yeah, it is. It is. Like, the Ballad of Never After is actually amazing. But The Curse, is it for True Love or of True Love? I have it over there, but I can't see it. The Curse of True Love is my personal favorite because they actually get together. And it's not really angsty. Like, it's a great story, a great plot. I love it. And I love the lore of the whole Caraval universe. And it's awesome. So, recommend. Okay. Next one. If you're a Greek mythology nerd, like me, I won't say I'm a nerd, but I do love Greek mythology. Actual Greek mythology. And also, I worship Greek gods, so one of them is actually Circe, who is the title of this next book by Madeline Miller. Also, I didn't read the titles of the other books. Stephanie Garber and Elizabeth Lim, who is also a fantastic author, and I'm also going to recommend another book from her as well. I love this book. I think it's a very feminist book. I quote it all the time. It's my favorite quote from it is, you've probably seen it if you're a Pinterest whore like me, and you've probably read every single poem on Pinterest ever uploaded ever, because I'm always quoting poems, and all of them are from Pinterest. All of them from I don't even read poetry. It's just all of the quotes I see are from Pinterest. It's crazy. But anyways, if you've seen the quotes, I might misquote it, but it goes, I think it goes, I'm sick of this world. And then Prometheus says, then child, make another. I don't know the exact quote, but I really like that. Then child, make another. And I love that so much. And I think we all need that, because none of us like the world we live in, and we should make one that we do. Circe, it is the most humane book for a book about a god. Like, it's a lot of people don't like retellings, but Circe, I feel like if I got to personally talk to the goddess herself, I feel like this book would be what her narrative would be. And basically, it goes to her time in her father's palace, and with her family being raised amongst the gods, being banished to her islands, meeting Odysseus. She also met Icarus's father, and I don't remember his name. And that was one of my favorite parts of the book. That she was so humane, and I really don't want to spoil it, but in the end, it shows how much of a mother she is, and I'm not a mother yet. I don't know what it's like, but I feel like anyone who is a mother can really resonate with the decision she had to make for her child, and the way that she protected him, and what she gave up in the end in order to live a life differently than the one that she was raised in. And I I, I truly love this book. Like, it is beautiful, and I think everyone should read it. And it really shows that how unfair the world is to women, even if you're a goddess. And that says something. So, yeah. And also, if you know Cersei from, like, Epic and stuff like that, you know that she turned men into wolves, but you don't, not wolves, sorry, not wolves, pigs, but you, like, in this book, you get the reason why. And honestly, I would turn men into pigs too. Like, I look, don't care. Like, I would turn men into pigs. So, but you really see why she did it. And this is a work of art. I just want to say that. It is a work of art. Yes. The next book, I cried. Again, sorry. Again, it's all messed up because I got this off of Thrift Books, so yeah. Also, Stephanie Garber's on here. And Rachel Griffin. She has a book called Bring Me Your Midnight, and oh my gosh, it's a book about witches, and it's amazing. So read it. But Belladonna, I cried reading this. First of all, this book got me into murder mysteries. It's not really a murder mystery, like, that's not what it is. I think it's either a fantasy or a romantasy, but no, it probably is a fantasy. But I love it, and I very much relate to Signa as the weird girl and the one no one understands and everyone judges and things like that. And I love that death is personified. Also, death is the kindest being. Like, if I went to his realm when I die, I would gladly die. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he is he. But the reason I cried, I think it was the plot twist that made me cry. But it's just really beautiful, and as a witch, it resonates with me. She's not a witch, but she does. It's about this girl, I'm sorry, let me explain it. It's about this girl who cannot die, and I still don't know why she can't die. But something happened to her when she was like a baby, and all of her family died, and growing up, she was passed on through all her distant family members, and I think the last one was her great aunt, and she figures out that she has the power to take life away. She has the power of death, and there's no other being other than death himself that is like her. And it's awesome. It's a book between her and death, and she can talk to spirits and see ghosts and things like that, but she's not willing to embrace that part of her because she's a society girl. She was raised wealthy. She just wants that life of being a normal society girl who gets married, who's a wife, things like that. She just wants to be normal. She doesn't want to embrace that dark part of herself. But in the end of the book, she's starting to question if she should, because that world of glamour that she dreamed of is not everything that she thought it would be. So I love this book so much. I also have the second one. I haven't read it yet. And the series is so freaking pretty. After this comes Wisteria, which I can't wait for it because it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. And it's about, her name is Blythe, right? I think it's about, yeah, Blythe. It's about Blythe in Wisteria. And I love Blythe as well. So I think all you have to do is research the covers of this book, and that will be enough to convince you because they're beautiful. So this is also on my recommend list, but obviously I haven't really, I got 21 pages in, so I haven't really read it, but Look, this is the wisteria. It's so beautiful. So, yeah. I can't wait to read this, and you definitely should read this. It's stunning and beautiful. Next is another book by Elizabeth Lim, Spin the Dawn. So, I cannot tell you what this book is about because I read this so long ago, and I have the second book, but I never finished it. But it's about this girl who has like magic scissors, and she's like a commoner in this kingdom, and the kingdom is, let me see if there's a map. It also takes place in the world of Six Crimson Cranes, and I also would recommend all of Elizabeth Lim's books because they're amazing. And there's a great romance in this book. Also, none of these have smut, by the way. I don't know if you can see it. This is the land that this book takes place in, and then like somewhere like off the map is where Six Crimson Cranes takes place. But it's about this girl with magic scissors, and she goes into this challenge to become like, I think it's like the head seamstress or something. Hold on. Oh, yes. She pretends to be a boy because in the society girls can't do certain things. So she pretends to be a boy to becoming the greatest dressmaker for the land. The king, I think it was a king, needs the greatest dressmaker. And she runs away to do that. And she has these magic scissors that could like create anything. And so there are trials, and she has to beat these trials to rise up in the challenge. And I think it's the king, sends her on these crazy tasks, and she has to go on missions and stuff like that to fulfill the task and to find the ingredients she needs for her fabric and things like that. And it really is beautiful. And there's a demon in this book that Shiori from Six Crimson Cranes defeats. And it made me so mad that he came back in this because I cannot stand that demon. Oh my gosh. But yeah, she has to defeat him, and she has to save the kingdom in the next book. And it's very beautiful, and it's very artistic. And I do recommend it, but I can't say anything more than that because it was a long time ago. I got this from a book fair at school. This Poison Heart. It's not that popular, but it's a great book. Another witchy book. And there's Greek mythology. And look, on the back, there's the triple goddess symbol of the mother, the maiden, and the crone, which is a symbol of Hecate or Hecate. And that's what this book is about. And it's not really a spoiler, but she is a descendant of, what's her name? Medea. Yes. And if you know Greek mythology, Medea was a witch, the niece of Circe, and I think she was taught by Hecate, and she's associated with Jason. It's this whole play. But she's a descendant of Medea. And she has this magic running through her, and basically she creates plants, and she doesn't know how to control it because she's been hiding it her whole life, and she was adopted, and she doesn't know, she isn't with her family because her mom either died or gave her up at a really young age. Her mom did die, but I think she gave her up before she died. But yeah, everyone has like Greek mythology names. I think her mother's name was Selene, or maybe her aunt's name was Selene. I started reading the second book online, but again, I can't read anything online. But it's also queer, it's sapphic, and the romance is good, but it more happens in the second book, and again, I haven't really read it yet, so I can't tell you much about that. And also, she has two moms, so double sapphic. But yeah, definitely recommend. Okay. This is Braiding Sweetgrass. I am not done with it. But that's the thing about my spiritual books. Yes, I'm in my spiritual section now. I forgot to say. There are 4 books here. I have more spiritual books, but I'm not recommending them. So I just have these. Actually, yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna recommend. I do have a lot of spiritual books though. But I'm a witch and I'm spiritual, so obviously I have a collection of them. And with books like these, I take my time reading them. In fact, I don't want to finish them. I'm one of those people that don't want to finish anything. So I don't want to finish them, so I'll probably spend the whole year reading this. I started reading it last October, I think. I don't know where I am. Oh my gosh. That's so strange. I just finished read some of it earlier, but yeah. I believe. But okay, anyways. If you're a science girly like me or an earthy girly like me and you love all things biology, ecology, zoology, this book is for you. But it's rooted in indigenous wisdom and spirituality. It literally says indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and the teaching of plants. So growing up, I wanted to work with animals and I wanted to work with plants. That has not changed. But right now, I want to go to college to work with horses rather than all animals or all plants because I want an actual career working with horses. But braiding sweetgrass, since someone like me who loves botany and I'm also a green witch, so I love plants and I also want to be an herbalist, so triple love plants. I love what plants can do and what we can learn from them. And again, someone who loves science and someone who's spiritual, it's the perfect book. It's I've cried, I've gotten mad at our world for how they destroy cultures and peoples. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I think if you want to enlighten yourself and you want to wake up in this dead world, you should read Braiding Sweetgrass. One thing I do when I am going to read a book, low-key when I'm going to consume anything, like, I need so much support in order to consume anything. Like, when I watch a movie, I go straight to Pinterest. I look at what other people are saying, like the whispers. I look at the aesthetic, the pictures, the reviews, whatever. That goes with everything. I look at the quotes. I look at what resonates with people. And I recommend you do that for this book. There's some awesome quotes that will immediately make you be like, oh, I gotta read this. And I wanted this book, and it was the last one in Barnes and Nobles, and it was like already bent and stuff, and I was like, no, but there were no other ones, so I had to get it. But I'm gonna read you a quote. Also, Jane Goodall, and if you don't know Jane Goodall, you can leave. Jane Goodall left a review on this. But I always leave little writings because for all my spiritual books, I underline things that resonate with me so I can look back on them. And I sometimes write in them. I'm not one of those people that's like, you can't dog ear your book or stuff like that. It's art. And art is meant to be messy and raw and real, and I want to leave my mark on it. So I will definitely dog ear a book. But I have, oh, here, let me see, all these underlines, all these things that I say. It teaches you a lot about reciprocity and so many. I'm definitely going to look back on this when I finish reading it and try to figure out all the notes that I left behind. But one of the things that I said, you know the extent of which you are. The earth acknowledges you. I am in awe of the incredible power of nature. I am in reverie of all it gives and all there is. I remember this connection that is in my veins. I am here to reciprocate with the most beautiful intentions. So yes, you have to read this. Out of all of these books, you have to read this. Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmer. Okay. Next, if you're into Buddhism like me, I recommend reading The Heart of Buddha's Teaching by, I'm gonna butcher this, Thich Nhat Hanh. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry. But it's great to get into Buddhism. I've been into Buddhism for a very long time, and I won't call myself a Buddhist because I don't really want to be tied down to like any specific way of believing. Like I just believe in everything. But I've never really like studied it, so this helps with actually getting into it. Not just believing the ideologies, but actually practicing them. Oh my gosh. Okay. Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. How common people are doing the uncommon. When I first got into spirituality and when I first became a witch, I saw a quote from this book on Pinterest, of course, and I immediately went to Kindle and downloaded a free sample, and I read some of it and I was like, whoa. I quoted this book, I brought it up in conversations, and I haven't even read more than 20 pages of it. Like, that says something. So, I downloaded the free sample and I never actually bought it until this year. So, it talks about, it's not really a spiritual, it's very scientific. It talks about, I guess you could say, psychology, mainly neuroscience, quantum physics, things like that. But it's not difficult at all. And it starts with this woman who husband, I don't know if I could say it here, he takes away his life. And she has her 2 kids, and she goes into this depression. She goes into so many things, and she completely ruins her body all by herself because of how she processed that information of her husband dying. And she gets all these illnesses, she goes on all these meds, she's the most unhappy person. It's like all the things that could possibly go wrong. And it's so awful to realize this is an actual person. And the lesson is how she starts meditating and she starts focusing on herself and therapy, and she turns her life around and she reverses her illnesses, and it's profound and amazing. And I recommend this podcast all the time, but Spiraling Higher is an awesome podcast. Like, it is the podcast for life, generally. And I first started reading this book, I first read the sample when I started that podcast, and it plays on similar themes on how a lot of life is internal, and a lot of what happens to you is begins in you. And it's profound and beautiful. And I think why we all need to read things like this is because we all need to realize that we need to take control of our lives and what is damaging us without us even realizing it. And a lot of the things that happen to us are our fault because of, like, not in a mean way, but in a way that we do so much unconsciously, and we have all these conditioning and ideals and concepts in our head that we don't even realize, and it ruins our life and it weighs us down. So I recommend this book. I'm not done with it. I'm chapter 4, page 85. But it's very scientific. They did a lot of studies to publish this. There are a lot of drawings, a lot of graphs. This is, what is this, like DNA? A DNA chamber or whatever. So, I completely recommend it. Especially if you're not into the woo-woo stuff, the spiritual stuff, then get this, because it has a spiritual approach, or a scientific approach. And the last thing, this book is like Rooted. Actually, this won't be the last thing. I don't have that much other books, so I'll continue. Rooted by Leanda Lynn Opt, I think. As I was in the ecology section of Barnes & Nobles, it's similar to Braiding Sweetgrass, and that's why I got it, because I wanted something like Braiding Sweetgrass, because it's amazing. She commented, she left a review at the top. Hop's gorgeous words create a path to the place where science and spirit meet. And again, have not gotten that far. I did underline a lot of stuff. I'm on page 64 though. I'll read something. It is awareness that makes us tingle with its responsibility, its beauty, its poetry. It makes our lives our most foundational form of activism. It means everything we do matters, and matters wondrously. That is just a small excerpt. There's a quote in the beginning, and it says, "Our hands imbibe like roots, so I place them on what is beautiful in this world." I love that. That's beautiful. And look how pretty it is. If I can. It's very beautiful. Okay, so I definitely recommend that if you want something like Braiding Sweetgrass that has to do with science, nature, and the spirit. Okay. I was going to recommend this, but I've not read enough, and I can't really say that I like the author's writing style. Like, she's a best-selling author, and she has lots of books, but I don't know. It was in the adult section, but it's written as if it's for kids. Like, it doesn't have very complex language, is what I mean. I'm trying to remember. There was a something she wrote, and I was like, that doesn't seem very. I don't know. It's that doesn't seem like a very smart way to say that, but I think she said it looks like somewhere bands would play when she was talking about something, and I was just like, I don't know, the way she wrote it, I was like, ah. So it's a good story though, but I'm not far enough in it to even recommend it. So none of these books, the books I'm about to show you, I've not finished any of them. The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. Oh my gosh. It's dual POV. It's this girl whose grandma passed away, and she was a writer, like a renowned romance writer. And she has a manuscript left unwritten, and she has to hire someone to finish the rest of the book. And I'm not even that deep in, but the romance is already so beautiful. And again, dual POV. It's between, actually there's 4 POVs because it's between the girl, I cannot remember her name, I'm sorry. I just finished, I just read this. It's especially because it's from her point of view. So, you don't hear her name a lot. Georgia. Okay. It's Georgia and Noah's POV. Noah's the writer that has to help her. And Scarlett and Jameson's POV. And it takes place in the 1920s, I want to say. No. 19. I'm not sure. I think it might be the 1940s, because I think it happens after. Is it World War One or World War Two? I think it's World War Two. It happens during World War Two, and they're both like people who work in the war. I can't tell you what Scarlett does, but Jameson is a pilot, and basically he gets relocated and things like that. I haven't gotten there yet, but it's very beautiful, and Jameson is, oh my gosh, he's amazing. But anyways, Scarlett is George's grandmother, so the story is about her. So it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. And this book is gorgeous. If you're gonna get the book, get this one. On the back it says, time and distance are only inconveniences to a love like ours. And this is the art on the front. This book does not have a synopsis, which I don't like about it. Like, there definitely should be a synopsis. There's not. But I got it despite that. I went to the library and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, and I left. That was what I did. I didn't even research it because I didn't have Wi-Fi in the library, so I couldn't even research it. So take a leap of faith like I did and get this, because I definitely recommend it. Okay. It's been so long since I've read Caraval, so I needed something magical, something some I don't know how to explain it. That's the thing about books. I don't know how to explain it. I needed that found family trope. In my opinion, this is my deepest opinion, found family tops any romance trope. Like, found family is oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So, The Gilded Wolves, I think there is multiple romances. For one, I only know that there is one, but The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. I have another one of her books, The Swan's Daughter. This is a library book, but The Swan's Daughter is my personal book, but I haven't read enough of it to recommend it. So, but The Swan's Daughter is beautiful, so I recommend checking it out, and it's actually very popular because everyone says it's so beautiful. But The Gilded Wolves, it's found family. It is definitely found family, and it's like these kids from different backgrounds that are working with each other for their own personal gains to accomplish something. And it gets dangerous. It does get dangerous. Again, I'm not deep enough. I'm like, no, I'm not really halfway actually. I'm like to here. But I like it already. And my next video is going to be about the books that I recommend that I don't have with me, because I read a lot of library books, so I don't have a lot of them anymore. And most of these that I have here are library books that I just am reading at the time. So I'll make a video about that too, because there's other things that I recommend that I don't have. But coming from, what was that book called? What the River Knows. Coming from that book, a book taking place in Egypt and revolving around history, and it's actually historical fiction. And I think it was I think it's the 1700s or the 1800s in Egypt. It was awesome. And Inez, the main character, is from Argentina, so she speaks Spanish, and I'm learning Spanish, so I really like that book, and I definitely recommend it, but that's for another video. But coming from a book like that, and coming to a book like this, The Gilded Wolves, where it's more high society danger, if that makes sense. Like, What the River Knows is, I won't say, she's not a noble woman. Inez is not a noble woman, but she's born into a wealthy family, and she's like expected to marry and things like that, and act a certain way, have etiquette, as women were at the time. And her parents passed away, and they were travelers, and their whole, I would say 90% of her life, they were gone and were on expeditions in Egypt. So she goes to Egypt, and she's like, okay, I want to see what the fuss was about. My parents left me. I want to know why they love this country more than me. So she goes there, and they're like archaeologists. They are archaeologists. And basically there's so many uncovered secrets and so many dark markets and things like that. And there's danger to it as well. And there's serious danger. Like, someone dies. She gets shot. Wit gets shot. Her uncle gets shot. Like, actually, I don't think she gets shot. I think someone else does. But, yeah, there's death. So, they're high stakes. So, if you come from a book like that, I recommend The Gilded Wolves. Again, not into it that much. Like, not in the book as much. But so far, I recommend it. And I love a found family trope. And it takes place in, I think, the 1800s, Paris. Or, I think it's Paris, yeah. It might be somewhere else in France, but I'm pretty sure it's Paris. And they have to deceive people, they have to play thieves, and play pretend in this world of aristocracy and rich people. So, I definitely recommend. And I think there's a romance other than I know there's romance between two characters, but there are 5 of them, so I don't know about the other. No, there are 6, I think. I don't know about the other 4. Yeah, I don't know about the other 4, so yeah. And I don't want to make this video an hour, so I'll go fast. If you're a witch like me and you've watched Practical Magic or read Practical Magic, I recommend the sequel, or no, the prequel about a girl, I'm pretty sure her name's Maria. Yeah, Maria Owens. And her life hasn't really started yet because I'm only 39 pages in. So her life hasn't really started, but it will. It will. And it's a prequel of the ancestors of the Owens siblings. So I recommend that. And last 2. This one is an adult book, but I feel like it could be YA. The Secret Service of Tea and Treason. The first book I read was, hold on, I don't remember the title. The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. And it's all one series, but I wouldn't say you have to read all of them because this is the last book in the series, and I only read the first book, and there's 3, so obviously I missed one, but you don't have to read them in order, I don't think. But I definitely would say start with the Wisteria Society. I finished it like 2 weeks ago, but I don't have it because it's a library book. But I'll recommend the series. I recommend the series. Also, it's very beautiful. It's kind of like romantic-y. The Wisteria Society is about these lady pirates who, I mean, they do what pirates do. They kill, they steal, they trick, they do that. But it's like I want to say Bridgerton if there was danger. Like, the women are still expected to act a certain way, to have manners and etiquette and be proper and not be vulgar, and they don't know about certain things, and they have gentle minds and things like that. Yet, it's kind of like this irony that they can't act a certain way, but at the same time, they kill and they steal. So, it's like, what? But it's funny. It's a comedy. I think it literally is a comedy. I think that's a rom-com. I think a rom-com is what the genre is. And it's really funny. And it takes place in the Victorian era. Like, literally, in the first book, they meet Queen Victoria. And they, like, the main character's aunt has, like, a squabble with Queen Victoria. Like, it's so funny. And I really love the romance of it. I'm not that far into this one, so I wouldn't know. But I do recommend the series as a whole. And I would say start with the first book, even though you don't have to read them in order. I think it's very fun because of the aesthetic and these daring women that still act a certain way. So you get that full-on Bridgerton vibes with the twist. And I definitely recommend it. It's really cool. And the last one. This is an adult author, and there's smut. I will say that. I don't really do that. I don't really do it. And this is the first few times I've actually ever read it. But at my libraries, there aren't much summer books, and the only summer books I saw were Emily Henry's books, and I decided, okay, let's read hers. And I think there were 2 or 3. So I started with Funny Story, And then while I was reading Funny Story, I listened to the audiobook of Beach Read, and then Book Lovers audiobook, and then I think that was it. And then The Great Big Beautiful Life. I am halfway. Actually, I only have a quarter left with this book. I will give you a ranking of Emily Henry's books because I love her books. Oh, and the whole reason I got into Emily Henry was because I watched People We Meet on Vacation, and it's on Netflix. You definitely should go see it. It's very fun, and Poppy inspired me. Poppy from the book inspired me to be a more fun person and live a little. So, yeah. The only thing that I've not read by her is Happy Place. Yeah, I definitely recommend this book. You do not have to read any of them in order. They are not associated with each other. There are some there are like times when one book gets mentioned in another, but it's just a cute little thing that she does. Like, you do not have to read them together whatsoever. It's not a series. And she's just a romance author. And I feel like all of her books are beach reads, like, hence one of her titles, Beach Reads. So I wanted summer books to read, and I don't read romance, but I wanted to start doing that this year. So I started with Emily Henry. So I'm going to rank what I've read so far. I'm not going to rank People We Meet on Vacation because I've watched it, I haven't read it. Funny Story because I just love Miles and I relate to Daphne. So definitely that. And it's funny. That's why I love it. Great Big Beautiful Life. This is her most recent book. I think it came out last year. I love this book. I love the characters. And one thing I love about Emily Henry, every single one of her characters are either writers, readers, publishers, editors, journalists, or librarians. They're all in the literature world, and I love that. So, basically, in this book, she's a journalist, and she goes to this town in Georgia. I'm from Georgia, and she is trying to interview this, I guess you'd say, forgotten celebrity that she was raised in this renowned family, very famous family, and she marries this musician, and he has songs about her, they fall in love, things like that, and then he passes away, and I think there's like a scandal or something, and she disappears from the world and no one's heard from her since. So she's on this little island in Georgia making art, and she has a story to tell, and she reaches out to, no, she, hold on, Alice, the main character, reaches out to her so she can do a book on her story. And then Margaret, which is the lady, reaches out to, I cannot remember characters' names. Oh my gosh. Hayden, yes. Margaret reaches out to Hayden to also work on a book with her. So the whole book, they are competing for an opportunity to write a book about Margaret. And it is an incredibly rich story. I feel it's very different from the rest of Emily Henry's books. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So I definitely recommend Great Big Beautiful Life. If you had to start with one of her books, I would say Funny Story because it's really it's funny and and it's good. I also really like Beach Read. But I listened to the audiobook. But if you're gonna start with a book, either do Funny Story or Great Big Beautiful Life because I really love it. It feels like sun shines, and I love I love it. It's a very rich story, and I love Margaret's story and her life, and yeah, I definitely recommend. So thank you. This video is now an hour long, which is absurd. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna put all these books away, and I'll do another one next time for the books I recommend that I don't have with me. Thank you.